Good morning, girls. Hope everyone is well and safe at home. Girls, today we are going to start with our new chapter, chapter number 5, that is Struggle for Independence, Struggle for Pakistan. And open your books on page number 54. Now, we are going to start with Lahore Resolution. Now, the story of establishment of Pakistan was at its peak. When we talk about Lahore Resolution, it was passed on 23rd March 1940, and in this chapter you will go through the end story of the establishment of Pakistan, when the struggle for the independence, when struggle for Pakistan was at its peak. Now, the Lahore Resolution, it was passed, it was accepted on 23rd March 1940. Now, first of all, we would look into the background. Why was the need felt to have some resolution passed? What was at the back of the mind of the Hindus and the Muslims at that very time period? A decisive period of Pakistan movement was started from March 1940. Now, Muslims of the subcontinent, they were organized under the leadership of Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayh. The Muslims of each area of the subcontinent reached the consensus. Consensus means general agreement that Muslim majority areas must be, it may be grouped into an independent state. Now, after a long struggle, after the War of Independence, then we talked about First World War, then we talked about Second World War. During these time periods, Muslims, they were very clear about their position. So, all of them organized under the leadership of Quaid-e-Azam, and they reached the general agreement. What was the general agreement? That Muslim majority areas may be grouped into independent state. That way, in which areas where the Muslims, they are in majority, they should be given, they should be independent, they should be given the status of independent state and should be handed over to the Muslims. After the complete occupation of British over subcontinent, complete occupation means after the complete control of the British over the subcontinent, Muslims and Hindus started efforts to protect their own rights. When the British, they got the complete control over the subcontinent, then what happened? That Muslims and Hindus, what did they start? They started their efforts. For which purpose? To protect their own rights. Hindus wanted to usurp the rights of the Muslims due to their majority. What was the wish of the Hindus? To take control, to usurp the rights of the Muslims. Why did they want this? Because they were in majority up to 1940. So, from the beginning, it was the great wish of the Hindus to have the complete control over the rights of the Muslims. And what was the reason at the back of their mind? Due to their majority. Now, up to 1940, both nations agreed upon some principles. However, Muslims were of the opinion that Hindus were not ready to recognize the rights of the Muslims, but they wanted to keep them under their influence. So, when we talk about the time period in the history up to 1940, both the nations, they agreed on some principles. But what happened? The Muslims, they were of the opinion that the Hindus, they are not ready to recognize the rights of the Muslims. They only and only want to have the complete control over the rights of the Muslims, and they wanted to keep them under their influence. Influence means to affect someone's belief and actions. For example, during the Congress ministers, Hindus treated Muslim badly. So, it's a very clear example that how did Hindus treat Muslims. during the Congress ministries after the elections of 1937, they treated Muslims very badly. They each and everything, their personal lives they were affected, their cultural lives were affected, their social lives were affected, their religious beliefs they were affected, and they were not independent to say their prayers. They were not have the relaxation in their jobs. So each and everything it was affected. In these circumstances, Muslim leadership thought to demand a separate state for the Muslims so that they might lead their lives independently without any correction. Correction means force someone to do something. However, the idea of the separate country for the Muslims was an old one. In the past, many Muslim leaders has pointed out this idea, and Allama Muhammad Iqbal Rahmatullah alayh presented the concept in clear words in Allahabad address in 1930. So we could not say that only it's an attempt in 1940, but from the beginning, immediately after the War of Independence, Muslims started to have this struggle for the implementation of their you can say rules and regulations, but the Hindus wanted to make them under their influence, as it was also mentioned by Allama Muhammad Iqbal in the Allahabad's address. Clear? Now today I will stop my lesson till here. You will write a question with it, write a note on the background of Lahore resolution. Clear? So tomorrow I would let you know that how much part you have to write for it. Now today I will stop my discussion till here. Tomorrow inshallah we will discuss the next paragraph and would let you know that how will you attempt this question. Take care girls. Allah Hafiz.